So now that I've been doing this for a while and I've been talking to people in the industry, going to shows, listening to what's being said, it's amazing how much this industry it's like a high school gossip group. I mean, it's unbelievable. Everybody talks. And I think what I find most interesting is for all the people who kept saying, oh, these reviewers are getting paid or they're getting stuff on the side, I was always rather skeptical. Guys, you're right. It is an open secret who charges what, whether it be dollars or free gear or dinners or $300 bottles of wine when they get taken out to dinner. Who charges what to do either articles or reviews or how much it's going to cost in buying advertisement to get awarded an award. And I've always maintained that all of these, whether they be content creators or reviewers or magazines, guys, they have a right to make money. I support it 1,000%. But I've always maintained that at least be transparent. And it's been really interesting to see a lot of these people on the YouTube who claim they buy all their gear with their own money. They're not. They're receiving free gear, or that they're only looking out for you and they poo-poo all expensive stuff while turning around and selling stuff that's just as expensive and then claiming some moral high ground. It's all a facade. So I'm going to do something different. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be completely transparent on 100% of what this channel does, how I do it, are there any charges or money or my costs, so that you can decide whether you want to watch this or how much you take it in effect and how much you listen to it. Although I've always maintained, it's my personal opinion, you should never listen to anything I say. Listen for yourself, try for yourself. But I want to be transparent, and I'll be very curious to see if anybody else follows suit. So stay tuned. So it's really interesting. The more I do this, the more I realize a couple of things. A, holy crap, is it a lot of work? B, holy crap, is it a lot of money to do it and do it decently? I'm going to give you an example. I'm spending almost $1,000 a month in software licensing fees from the music that I play on my channel. I have to pay monthly licensing fees for that, to online storage because the videos and the storage takes up huge amount of space, to monthly licensing fees for all these graphics that you see up here, and they all require subscriptions for that stuff. So if I do nothing, expenses is about $1,000 a month. The camera, I'm using a Canon cinema camera. It's about $7,000. The lenses, a cinema lens, a decent cinema lens, you'll be lucky if you can find one for only $5,000. Microphones, this wireless microphone here, it's $700 for just that microphone to get a decent one. The stands that the lights are on, I've got 3 lights. Each one of these cinema lights is $800 plus the stands that they're on. They're Matthews stands. Go look them up at B&H. They're $400, $500, $600 each. I got 4 of those. So this stuff adds up. And yes, I choose to use nice stuff. Yeah, I guess I could do it on my iPhone video, but you guys wouldn't watch if I did. So as those expenses add up, and as my channel has gotten more popular, and as I see let's take mono and stereo as an example. Guys, they monetize just about everything they do, just about every word they post, everything they post. You go to their website, there's 100+ ads on every page. You know, I've seen the rate sheet for how much they charge for the news releases and stuff like that. I'm not poo-pooing them, more power to them. They have every single right to monetize and make money. But I don't think there's transparency and clarity on what them or anybody does where there's a charge for it, where there isn't. Now, am I suggesting that because there is a charge that they are somehow, or a fee, that they are somehow saying something that isn't true or that they're a shill? No, I'm not saying that. You can make money on it and still be neutral. I've always maintained, just be transparent, especially if you have nothing to hide. As I look to how the channel's grown in its popularity and how much time and effort, this is a part-time endeavor for me. This is not full-time. I do not want this channel to become a full-time endeavor for me. And the reason being is because Yes, I have expenses for traveling to shows and airfare and food and lodging and all that stuff. But if I were to do this full time, then a couple of things would happen. I would be forced to review gear that I don't want to review, that doesn't interest me, for the sake of being able to create new content. And that would also increase the financial pressure of now, if I don't have an income outside of this, I need to really find a way to monetize this. And I think that leads down to a slippery slope of when you're forced to raise money, doing things in a way that I personally don't want to have to be forced to do. I'm not saying anything negative about people who do this full time. I'm just saying how I look at this. So here is, as I look to my channel and it's growing, I'm going to give you one example. Here in the state of Texas, very large state, our state legislature is a part-time legislature. It meets only every 2 years. They all have normal jobs outside of this. I've always felt that's a good system because it keeps them a little bit more grounded in reality because they're still out in the real world working and they're not full-time politicians. I look at states like Rhode Island or Massachusetts, these tiny little states that have full-time legislatures, and it's like they just got to create stuff to justify their existence. I'm not getting political and I'm not choosing political sides. I'm just talking about the structure. And so when I look at my channel and the reality of the expenses that I have, and on top of that, the core values that are important to me. Here are the core values. I never want to accept money to do reviews. I only want to review stuff that interests me, that I'm passionate about, and share that with you. I still maintain I don't shill for any company. I don't care if you buy anything that I talk about or not. I'm talking to you about stuff that I love, that I'm passionate about, things that I learn, mistakes that I've made. I mean, you look at where I've come system-wise. I am so much more advanced in what I'm listening for and how I'm setting up now than I was just a year ago. I could never believe my system would be at the level it is now versus a year ago. I want those to continue to be true. However, in full transparency, and I've talked to several people in the industry about this, I also need to find a way to help offset some of these expenses. I am not a fan of Patreon or having a two-tier system where I ask you to pay for unique content that I don't share with everybody for a couple of reasons. Again, that increases pressure on me to come up with more content. I don't want to come up with content for the sake of coming up with content. I want to do content because I'm passionate about it and I love it. And B, I don't want to separate you guys. I love all of you. I'm not here to ask you for money. I just think that's wrong to invite you into my home, invite you into what I'm passionate about and what I love and what I want to convey and say, oh, by the way, you need to pay me to see this. It doesn't strike me as the right way to do it. I also don't sell my services. I'm not here asking you to pay me for setup advice or consultation or system advice. I am not a dealer. I don't sell anything. I don't sell anything. So I think if you're a dealer, in and of itself, it's almost impossible to not be biased because you have ulterior motives at that point, which again, I understand. So those things are not changing. Here's what I am going to do going forward, and I want to be completely transparent. I want to let you guys know because I've got nothing to hide and I've got nothing to be ashamed of. I would like to explore some of the mono and stereo and other outlets' business model of having a product spotlight. What do I mean by a product spotlight? Where a manufacturer has a new item or an existing item, and they may want to send me some talking points, technical talking points, not marketing spiel about how it's the best or how it beats the competition. Technical marketing points. It's X number of watts per channel. It utilizes such and such chips in it. And send me stock photography, or I can use my own photography if they want, because I love taking pictures of this gear, and relay that stuff informationally to you in a way and charge a small fee for that. It is not an opinion-based piece. It is not a review piece. In no way will it affect what I choose to review, because I'm probably going to spotlight stuff that I'm not interested in reviewing. But that, to me, keeps my reviews and my personal opinions completely separate and unique and encased in a force field, if you will, keeping them my own personal opinions and passions. While on the other side of the purely factual point of view of making you aware of some product, there may be a fee associated with that. Now, it's not going to be for everything that I cover. Some there will, some there won't. I haven't figured that whole thing out yet. Also, there may be informational series, how-to series, educational series. As an example, maybe I interview different companies on streamer technology in general, or how to set up a good streaming system, where yes, we may talk about their products briefly and how they do it, but it is not an infomercial in the sense of you need to buy brand X and X and X for the best possible setup. No, it's, oh, okay, with product X, you can plug it in this way if you choose, and the benefit would be this. Again, factual in nature and informational in nature. Those will never have personal opinions like, oh, I think that's wonderful, I think you need to buy it. I'm never saying what you need to buy or don't need to buy. So I want to be clear, honest, transparent, and upfront with you guys that I've got significant expenses. I can't keep going down this path of spending this money month after month after month without some way of offsetting it. The fact of the matter is, I'm never going to, and I'm okay with this, I don't want to turn this channel into a profit-making center. I do, however, want to at least cover my expenses. For me to do a long-form video, when I say a long-form video, more than just a 30-second video, by the time I unpackage the product, I'm not talking about burn-in time, unpackage the product, familiarize myself with it, take pictures, do the listening sessions with it, try it in various listening sessions, shoot my video B-roll, shoot the video talking head, compose what I want to say, then actually edit and produce and launch that video online is typically a 40 to 50 hour endeavor. Because I want to make stuff that I love, that I'm passionate about, that I think is interesting, that is different and unique from what everybody else is offering. I don't want to follow them. I don't want to do what they do. More power to them. When they zig, I'm zagging. So I'm going to continue to beat to my own drummer. Nothing is changing in the way I talk about this stuff, but in my relationship with you and in me staying true to me, where I do believe transparency is key, I wanted to be upfront and share this with you. And frankly, I'd love to see other channels talk about what they do. I'll tell you who does a really good job. 6 Moons actually will list what they charge for, what they do, and more credit and more power to them for doing that. It's for everybody to see. Nobody's got an issue with it. You know where they're coming from. Nobody begrudges them being able to make money, their business, and stay in business and bring great content. So I love that. So I think of myself as following more in the 6 Moons transparency rather than a mono and stereo where the reviews oftentimes, let's be honest, are glorified PR copy or something like that. Again, whatever they want to do, they're welcome to do. I'm saying that's not what I want to be. So I hope you'll continue to join me. I hope that you'll still subscribe and watch future things. I wanted to be true and upfront and honest with you. I'd love it if the other content creators did the same. It'll be very interesting to see if what they admit to is what the truth is, because everybody in the industry knows what there are. There are no secrets in this industry, guys. No secrets. And anybody who thinks that they're getting away and pulling the wool over people's eyes with how they're making money or how they're getting gear is kidding themselves. So I'd love to see more transparency and honesty. Everybody has a right to make a profit and pay for their time and effort. But you as a person on the receiving end has a right to know where they're coming from. And I'm going to say it again, guys. Don't listen to me. Don't buy anything that I tell you to. I always maintain this is how it sounds in my room. Go listen to it. Decide what you like. I am not here to shill or talk about anything other than what I love, what I hear and what I'm passionate about. And that is never going to change, and that will never, ever, ever be for sale. So guys, thanks for tuning in on this, and I really, really look forward to seeing you in the next one. I'm the Greek Audio Geek, and I approve of this message. Opa!